Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Killer Frequency, where I am grievously wounded but surviving, which I guess is more than you can say for some of the people in this town. Again, Peggy's fault. We're giving Peggy's got all the blame
Folks,
for that.
and now for Jesus, Forrest, you've been
Let's
gone for ages.
let's give her a
What
hand.
happened?
Let's
Something
give
did
her a
happen.
hand. There it is.
Clive, the janitor,
All yours.
might be Clive, the murderer.
What?
I'll start from the beginning. The fire door locked behind me.
It's weird. I definitely saved it after this transition. Whatever, it's fine.
Why did you heave that thing all the way up here?
Because the basement's creepy as hell, and I don't like standing around down there.
Fair. All right, let's run through this again. We have a creepy board you found in a creepy basement, made by our creepy janitor, who you think is the creepy whistling man.
Yep.
And on the creepy board are the names Chuck Brody, Kim Walker, Rebecca Allen, and Aunt Williams.
Correct.
And you think one of these people will be the whistling man's, Clive's, next target.
That's right. And we've got to find them.
You said there are 4 locations listed there too? The hospital, the power station, the gas station, and the trailer park. Clive must think the target is at one of those locations. Forrest, you're gonna have to figure out if any of the potential targets are at one of these locations tonight. Hit the button if you need any help.
Okay. So it's time to do a little bit of detective work. I definitely am going to be good at this. All right. So Chuck Brody, former Gallows High football captain Chuck Brody, suffered a career-ending injury. To help him on his road to recovery, we're buying some lottery tickets. Hopefully, he gets lucky and get back on his feet. Drop tickets in the bucket below. So where was this recovered from? Presumably it would have been, put at the Harvest Festival somewhere. Local doctor K. Walker recommends all locals get their flu shot. Do we know where, the flu shot drive is? Infamous author of tell-all book Diary of a Car Thief moves out of Gallows Creek for a new life in the big city. She stole our cars and then stole our time and money, said our reviewer, Jim Randy. I was kind of hoping that was ending with stole our hearts, but they can't all be winners. Christine's Gas and Repair has been sold to a man who won the lottery 14 years ago. The new owner claims it will keep me busy on an evening. He has asked to remain anonymous. So that's 1986, 14 years after this this big tragedy here. Which kind of doesn't quite work, right? It's like the idea that Chuck Brody was given all the lottery tickets, because this talks about him being a victim of the festival disaster late last year. So he would have won the lottery in 1973, not 72. But, I mean, it lines up really closely otherwise. It is weird that, yeah, I don't know. It's weird that it's so close, but it's wrong. Where do they want me to put this? I don't know if they're actually detecting what I'm doing with this. Okay, what else do we got here? A marriage announcement. Kim Walker and Peter Stein getting married in 1970. In 1977, a crime syndicate impounded. Criminal operation shut down, 24 arrests. The arrests were made after a member gave up information on their co-conspirators to the investigators. The informant, who asked to remain anonymous and will hereafter be referred to as R.A., has walked free with no charges. Okay, so that'll be Rebecca Allen. But we need to connect that to another piece of information for it to be of any value to us. Let's see here. Justice for festival victims. The 2-year investigation into the festival accident has concluded. Investigators blame 2 engineers that were contracted in from the local power station. Lead engineer Aunt Williams and junior engineer Sean Everett were distracted talking about horror movies. Well, who hasn't had this happen to them? while assembling the big wheel, which led to various construction mistakes. Okay, well, I mean, Ant Williams is an engineer who works at the power station, so he might still be at the power station. Right? That makes some kind of sense. There was a lot of hiring down there. You would think this is the kind of thing that might get you fired, though. I don't know. We'll keep an eye out for other information. Trailer for sale cheap. Sick of being a local celebrity. People are so mean to me. I only stole a few cars. Who cares? Buy a new one. I'm selling my trailer and leaving town ASAP. I just want to get out of here. Please buy it. Okay, so... I mean, it seems like Rebecca Allen would not be in town at all, right? Here in 1986, she's selling her trailer. Here in 1987, she's left town. Diary of a car thief, police informant, tell-all book, and that's certainly her. Sheriff Matthews warned citizens to be on the lookout for suspicious behavior after multiple car thefts. Crime wave of 70 will be stopped. Yeah, that's old news, boss. The lead engineer responsible for the Gallows Creek Harvest Festival disaster. Wait, I want to just look at this a little bit more closely. They say you learn from your mistakes. I turned mine into a career. Get started in a career in health and safety advising. Okay, so maybe he did switch jobs after the thing. A career in health and safety advising. Okay. I mean, that could be that could be a job you do at a hospital, right? That could make some sense. 1977, tragedy struck Gallows Creek after a bus failed to stop and crashed into a fuel tanker. That's fucked. The deceased have been identified as D. Rudd, M. Houghton, P. Stein, K. Stein, and J. Mildred. So... This is P. Stein and K. Stein are Kim Walker and Peter Stein, right? Which is to say, Kim Walker's... That's 84. Yeah. Well, no, never mind. Well, Dr. K. Walker. I guess it's a different... So she must not have taken his last name in the marriage. And the K. Stein is a different K. Stein. Maybe they're... The P. Stein is probably right. That's weird, because this is 1970. And this is 84. It is weird. It's sort of a red... They've thrown a red herring in here with the K. Stein thing. Okay, so I don't really feel like I have a great guess. Seems like Art Williams might have switched jobs. Ant Williams, sorry, not Art Williams. Might have switched jobs and as such might be at the hospital or something. What else is going on around town? Do we have any other information here that we can use? That doesn't help us. Yeah, so if Ant Williams has switched jobs and is now because his staff surge is 1969. This is before the accident, which occurred in 72, and then he would have been found officially guilty in like 74. So yeah, he might be at the hospital then, actually. Or, he could be the health and safety advisor at the powers. Like, that's a thing you could have on staff. Learn about health and safety in the workplace. Yeah, it just says health and safety convention. I don't know that this is by itself enough information to know where he works. Perhaps I am a fool. So Chuck Brody and Kim... Chuck Brody was in the athletics club. Kim Walker was in improv club. I mean, she's a doctor. Presumably she's at the hospital. He's probably just working health and safety at the power station, right? Which by process of elimination would mean Rebecca Allen trailer park. But like, and we don't know that this actually sold, right? We know that she was trying to sell her trailer and that she did leave town. This is her book in 1986. Like, we don't necessarily have any indication here that she came back. It's 1987 now, right? The present in the game is 1987. I don't remember where I saw that. We don't know when in 1987. Well, no, we do. It's Harvest Festival time, duh. So it's like, it's Halloweeny time. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a thing here. It says, September 3rd, 1987. I suppose we could use that as a hint to the date. Just a mild, gentle hint. Okay, so, yeah, she's been out of town for some amount of time, presumably. Maybe she came back to visit for the Harvest Festival. And she's staying in her trailer that she never sold? Feels a little, where'd my pizza box go? Ugh. Can't trust these damn things. Alright, you stay right here. You're like an honored guest.
How's it going?
I could maybe use a little bit of a push here.
It's not going well. I could use some help.
Okay, let's review the basics. We need to work out who the next target is. There's 4 locations, right? And 4 people. We need to figure out if anyone is at any of the 4 locations tonight. And if they are, we can call them and warn them. There must be some connections between the notes.
That makes sense.
Great. Need any more help?
I'm going to say I am good, and we're just going to see what happens. And if somebody gets killed, Peggy didn't explain things clearly enough. That's on her.
I'm good now. Thanks, Peggy.
No problem. How's it going?
I'm ready. I have associated names with locations.
Sure? We've only got one shot at this.
What does sure mean, really?
I'm sure. Let's do this.
Okay. Name first.
Morale? Bam.
Who do you think the target is?
Okay, so we only think one of them is really, like, in danger. I think it's Aunt Williams. I think Aunt Williams has not suffered enough for the tragedy that he caused. I think that's what's going on.
Aunt Williams.
And where will I find them?
Power station, probably?
The power station.
Okay, I'm dialing. One moment.
Some shit went down at the power station already. Can I put this somewhere else where it's not like covering part of the map? It just makes me feel like I would like to see the whole map. Can I put it on
Forrest,
here?
I'm through to the power plant, but they say there isn't anyone by that name there.
What? Then who?
Whoa!
It sounds like something blew up.
It does sound like
He's
something
using
blew up.
bombs now?
Oh my god. The call board. One moment. Forrest, I'm getting so many calls.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm gonna take us off air for a moment.
Peggy, what's happening in there? Peggy.
I'm back. He blew up the gas station, Forrest.
Okay.
I spoke to the fire department and the hospital. The fire department is useless now, as you know. And, the hospital's only ambulance was at the gas station. Forrest, you've got to say something on the radio. You have to tell the town. I'm putting us back on air. Now.
Gallows Creek. I don't know how to tell you this, but, The gas station's been bombed.
Please, everyone, stay safe, stay inside, and... Oh, just bring us into some music, Forrest.
All right, let me turn the music back on.
Here's some music while we regroup here on KFAM 189.16, The Stream.
Why would you have the option of saying, let's blow this up? Who would do such a thing? Well, so that didn't go
There's gotta be
the
more in
most
basement
right.
to show us who Clive is targeting. And if that's the case, we can get ahead of him. Stop the killings before they can happen. Forrest, we need to go back down.
Oh yeah, who's
By
we?
You mean me, right?
Yep. Like I said, I need to handle all these calls. Maybe start with that creepy mannequin room you mentioned before. I still have a lot of questions about those, by the way.
Me too.
All right. Okay. So where's my screwdriver? What did I do with that? It ended up, I threw it. I threw it, that's right. In a very mature and normal way, I threw it across the room. This is my stabbing screwdriver. For stabbing that guy. You know the one, that guy. This is bad. The good news is that explosion came so fast after our phone call that there's no universe in which we could possibly have affected the outcome. And I understand that when I say good news here, obviously, I mean, it's like a pretty specific definition of good, right? But like, you know, I could not have saved anybody. There was definitely no time for people to like, get away or anything. So, you know, God damn it. I saw those and I was like, hey, don't bump into those. So I don't know if you saw it. Like I tried to take a nice wide berth around them and still. Okay. Creepy mannequin room. I guess, you know, that's almost pointing at this picture. There's a lot of people's pictures up here, though. Maybe I should check over here. Well, I mean, we took...
A key? Was this always here? I must have missed it when I brought everything upstairs.
I don't like any of that. I didn't even see the key. It was probably on the desk, and I was too busy looking at this. Is there anything interesting under the sink? No. Oh, this key. He means this key. Okay, the basement storage. Well, I mean, I guess that's missable because, like, you take the big pin board off the wall, and then you're holding. Okay, I think that sound was just those closing, and then you're just holding this big pin board. That's hard to. That makes it hard to see. Which door is the basement storage? Is it the one over here? Those are huge flies, y'all. It is. Okay, we're just going to close this real quick. Yeah, it's closing.
Hey, Forrest!
Peggy, give me some warning
Jesus
before yelling down
Christ.
the intercom.
Sorry. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
I mean, her voice was fine. It was the music sting that got me. Okay, well, there's a lot of circuit boards and stuff. A lot of... I mean, I guess it's a storage space. I should not be surprised that there's a lot of the kinds of objects. I'm not trying to leave. This is another room within the space. Yeah, there's a lot of the kinds of objects that are in the radio station, right?
Peggy, I've found a tape and a map down here.
A map of what?
Looks like it might be to somewhere in this storage area.
Weird. Well, maybe the tape will give us more information. Give it a play.
When I say map, do I mean this photograph? Or is there a map that I'm missing? I mean, there's a map of the town, obviously, but that's not... Okay, give it a play. Is there a thing here where I can actually do that? This is like the level of lighting is making it difficult to see this.
George Barrow, 1968. That's when this all began for me. Follow the maps, find the tapes. I'll be waiting.
Wait, George Barrow? We all heard that he drowned after a night out drinking. Was it actually Clive? Has Clive really been the whistling man for that long?
He says I need to follow the maps and find the tapes. I guess that's what this map is about.
I think we need to see what else is hidden down here. Be careful, Forrest. Keep looking. Buzz the intercom when you found something.
All right, hold on just a moment here. Just nudging the volume upward. We'll see if that ends up being too much. Okay, so what is the... It's like a micro cassette player is the thing that's drawn there. So obviously...
Time of autopsy is 7 a.m. Cause of death is asphyxiation from drowning. The degree of rigor mortis indicates that the subject has been deceased for 5 hours. That puts the time of death...
I hate this. I hate this. This space is a nightmare. There's all these places that an adult human being could be hiding inside of, and all these things close together, and this is gonna be something. I know this is gonna be something. Access codes. State-of-the-art security system. The entry code is 715914. Bet that's gonna end up mattering. Let's see here. Supervisor C. Atkins oversaw the delivery of these security systems to all of these places. Client opted for manual installation at the radio station. Huh. All right, I'm going to put this back here for the moment. So this is probably in here somewhere. Yeah, this is horrifying. Okay.
Small lacerations to arms, legs, and face, typically obtained by running through foliage. Severe blistering to the feet, as though the deceased had been running without stopping.
Gotta love that. The thing's slowly slowing down as it's losing power.
This looks useful.
Okay, prepared by Sheriff Matthews. Miss Sandra Sharp called in 1968. At 4 a.m., a call was received from Miss Sandra Sharp reporting a body had been found in the reservoir. Drove out to investigate, was able to identify the body as George Barrow. Contacted the coroner's office, then the boy's parents. They informed me they had not seen him since 7 p.m. on the 2nd. Okay. He said this looks useful, so I guess I'm going to hold on to it. Are these the right... These are not the right racks. Looking for one that has... Well, I guess I've been all the way in here. Let's see here. So there's some boxes. I guess that is just a box on the top level, isn't it? Some boxes. There's some, like... radio equipment that I don't know what you would call it. Here we are. Here we are.
Preliminary toxicology results shows no signs of inebriation. However, a high amount of cortisol was found, indicating elevated levels of stress in the immediate immediate moments before death.
I have to imagine that's probably relatively common among drowning people. Yeah? If I was drowning, I think that would stress me the fuck out.
Additionally, there appears to be a post-mortem injury to the arm. It looks like it was trapped in a car door.
Well, now that's a very specific thought about that injury. Okay, someplace with some like filing cabinets with paper on them. I did not notice this before. And this is in fact exactly the spot. This is all very creepy. All right, in here is what we're looking for, but I'm just going to take a quick peek. All right, we're not going to listen to the recorders out of order or anything. I just wanted to see what was over there.
It is the coroner's opinion that the subject likely feared for his life.
This has to be important.
Resulting in a fall from a height into a body of water where he hit his head, was knocked out, and drowned. Following that, he was moved.
Dr. Sullivan, we need to have a talk. Is that recording? Shut it off.
Then she was approached by the Terminator. Okay, so Virginia Sullivan, County Medical Examiner. The deceased is a Caucasian male. Cause of death is drowning. Abrasions found on the knuckles. No other injuries were observed, and from coroner's opinion, there is no evidence of foul play. Preliminary toxicology report indicates the deceased had a high level of alcohol in their blood. It is of the coroner's opinion that the deceased went swimming while intoxicated, resulting in his drowning. So, the voice we're hearing on the recording is Clive, because otherwise, how would he get the tape, right? You would think that whoever it was that made her turn off the tape and file this falsified medical report would have destroyed or taken the initial recording. And it does say, I'm sorry I made you do this, which again is like, it's another one of those hints, you know? Okay, well, it just says go in the, yeah, okay. I'm holding on to these. These are incriminating as hell.
If you're listening to this, then I'm probably dead.
Oh no.
What the?
I'm a man who likes to stay informed. I've got subscriptions to newspapers all over the country. A few weeks ago, I noticed headlines cropping up in those papers, one after the other. Each headline about a murder. Each murder, the death of someone I knew almost 20 years ago. And each one
Okay.
drawing closer to Gallows Creek. Drawing closer to the anniversary. None of us are innocent, but I don't think we deserve killing. All I hope now is that I can save some folk from the worst that I can. I don't know. Do something to make up for what I did back then, I guess. I didn't kill anyone, mind you, but that's past mattering. Now, there's more I could say than I should say, but my employer made it clear that my family would pay a high price if I ever spoke out. So, hopefully I've said enough for you, listener, whoever the hell you are, to start putting the truth together.
What the hell? Peggy is not gonna believe this.
His employer, like his boss at the radio station? Can't be, right? This would be such a time for us to get jumped by a masked person while we're trying to navigate these shelves. Yeah, Peggy, I definitely got something.
It's an autopsy tape. Doesn't say for who, but I think it must be for George.
Poor George. He was so young.
Something's bugging me, Peggy.
What do you mean?
I swear I recognize the voice of the woman talking on the tape. I just can't place it.
Seriously? Do you think you've met her before?
I don't know. I mean, I just got here recently. I don't know. Found another tape. It talks more about how George died.
What did it say?
It sounds like he was running for his life. Sprinting through trees and bushes, getting cut up all over.
What would drive someone to do that?
I'm not sure yet. There's also a tape about a toxicology report. There were no signs of drinking or that he was on anything.
What? But everyone said he went swimming drunk and drowned. It was in the newspaper and everything.
I found a written autopsy report.
What does it say?
According to that, it's just like you said at the start. George drowned after getting drunk. Said he liked to fight, too.
But that contradicts the tape.
I know. And I think I know why. There's a note with the report that says, "I'm sorry I made you do this, Virginia."
If it was on the autopsy report, then Virginia must be our coroner. Wait, the caller from earlier, when we had to call the takeout restaurants, wasn't her name Virginia?
We need to call her back once we finish down here. It looks like she might know something about what's going on. I found a tape that introduces a new detail to the story. Post-mortem injury. Apparently, his arm got caught in a car door.
A car door?
Yeah, after he died. How do you suppose they can tell?
How can they tell? I'm a radio producer, not a coroner.
The written report I found doesn't mention it at all.
How did his arm get trapped in a car door after he died?
Unless he got it when the police collected his body, I guess someone else must have moved him after he was dead to where he was eventually found.
But the report, what is going on here?
I found a police report. Mentions a friend from earlier, Sandra Sharp.
Sandra. The jazz runner?
That's right. She found George's body washed up at the reservoir.
The reservoir?
Yeah? What's strange about that?
George got cuts from running through foliage, right? But there's no forest around there. Also, how did it wash up at the reservoir?
What do you mean?
Reservoirs don't have tides.
But that's what the police report said.
It's not possible, though. I did a school project on reservoirs and got an A. But, yeah, not important right now. The important thing is that it doesn't make sense.
What are you suggesting then? That the body was originally found somewhere other than what the report suggests? That the sheriff tried to cover it up, but accidentally let something slip?
Something like that. I think.
Well, Sheriff Matthews wrote the report. If he hadn't been eviscerated, we could have asked him.
True. But Sandra is still alive? Once we're done down here, we should give her a call.
In another tape, the coroner comes to the same conclusion as I did. George was running from something.
Maybe an animal?
Maybe, but then there's this next bit, where the coroner thinks he was moved post-death.
So she agrees with us.
At the end of the tape, someone burst in and demanded Virginia stop recording. I think it was Clive.
This is starting to make sense now. This is a conspiracy to cover up what happened to George.
I think I found Clive's last recording. I think Clive might be gone.
Gone?
I found a confession. Not for any killings, but for playing a part in covering up George's death. He left this behind in case he died. He hoped someone would find it.
Do you think the whistling man already got him?
Possibly. We've had a lot of callers tonight, but maybe not every victim made it to the phone, you know? We don't know how many there really are.
Christ, Forrest, that's dark.
I know, but Clive said he had read about other murders in other towns, and that the murders were all folks who knew about the incident. And the killings were getting closer to Gallows Creek. He said he wanted to do something good for once.
The board in his office. He wasn't tracking people down to kill them. He was tracking them down to save them. Ugh, why didn't he just come out with all of this?
He said his employer threatened his family if he spoke out about any of it.
His employer? The one who orchestrated the cover-up? Oh, Clive. I'm sorry for thinking you'd killed all those people. Do you think you found everything?
I think so.
Forrest, what's going on here?
Someone wanted that boy's death to seem like an accident. And they hired Clive to make it look that way.
Come back upstairs when you're ready. We need to figure out our next step.
Okay. I have some things to say about that. Hold on just a damn second here. So, first of all, it does seem like the intention there is, given the way that threaded together sort of clumsily, I think the intention was that we were supposed to come back after each individual thing, like each individual tape, like not follow the next clue, to see the next clue, pick it up, but then come back and talk to Peggy, and then go back to the next clue after that. And that seems like a bizarre way to do it, but I think that would have made that sequence less of just sort of like a long string of disconnected, it's kind of very clumsily assembled the way we hit it. Secondly, no, listen, I did a report on reservoirs in high school and I got an A on it, is a very funny way to justify that piece of information that could absolutely just be somebody, speaking in a very colloquial way. Whatever, it's fine, it doesn't matter. Thirdly, how contrived is, well, I like to be informed, so I purchase newspapers from all over the country, and then I read them, and it just so happened I was reading exactly the ones that mention all of these murders that are relevant to my situation. Unless he was saying he reads all of them all the time, in which case, no you don't, you liar. It's always tough with something like this, where they're doing a riff on a kind of media that is sort of known for its bad contrived writing, especially a lot of these these 80s slashers that it's very specifically trying to sort of be in tone with. Because anytime there's bad or contrived writing in the game, then you have to go, well, did they fuck up or is this homage? Generally speaking, I am not inclined to give people the benefit of the doubt, as I'm sure those of you who have been around here are familiar with. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that sequence all that much, I guess is what I'm saying. Although I do like Clive's spooky voice. But I think we're going to stop here for the moment. I know this is a little short, but my shoulder is starting to bother me again. So that's going to be it for us for today. I do not want to re-injure myself or extend my healing time any, because not being able to use my dominant shoulder at all really sucks. It turns out you move your arm around a lot in day-to-day life. So that's going to be it for us for the moment. Thank you all so much for watching. A gas station blew up, but I maintain we couldn't have saved those people. The call and the explosion were too close together, so I'm not taking any blame on this one. Again, amazing how I keep getting away with it. When you come back next time, we will continue to definitely save everyone who could be saved, except for Peggy's bad ideas and also the ravages of time. And we'll see you then.